I had the whole Saturday mapped out with the kind of precision only a man craving simplicity could understand. Football on the screen, a cold drink sweating in my palm, and a full day of uninterrupted quiet. My wife, Lionel, had kissed me lightly on the cheek that morning, her bag already slung over one shoulder, and said she was heading to a bridal shower for her friend Ashley. Just the girls, she'd smiled, then turned and walked out the door. It wasn't the first time she'd gone out with her friends. In fact, I always encouraged it. We had built our marriage on mutual trust and the freedom to breathe separately when needed. But something about that morning tugged at me in a way I couldn't explain. Maybe it was the way she kept adjusting her makeup in the hallway mirror, or how she wouldn't quite meet my eyes before she left. I chalked it up to nerves or excitement. Everyone deserves to feel confident when they step out, I told myself. I pushed the thought aside and focused on the comfort of my recliner and the rhythm of the game. Hours slipped by. I didn't text her, didn't want to come off as clingy. She'd told me not to expect much in the way of updates. We'll be too busy playing games and laughing, she'd said with that casual, breezy confidence that used to make me smile. But as the sky darkened and the familiar comfort of my day wore thin, a quiet unease settled in. I opened our shared location app, something we kept active out of habit and safety, not control, just practicality. But her location wasn't at Ashley's house. It was 20 minutes away, near a beach resort tucked along the coast. Confused, I zoomed in. The pin hovered over a hotel. I stared at the screen, brows knitting. Maybe the shower had moved to a surprise venue. Maybe Ashley had booked a suite. It seemed strange not to mention that. Still, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I sent her a simple text. Hope you girls are having fun. Let me know if you need anything. No response. 10 minutes passed, then 20, an hour. Trying to calm the building tension in my chest, I sent a light message to Ashley. Hey, just checking in. Hope Lionel didn't forget the gift basket. Her reply came fast. Gift basket? I haven't seen Lionel today. Everything okay? I stared at her message, my heart stopping in its tracks. My eyes darted over the words again and again, hoping I'd misread them. I hadn't. I swallowed hard and replied, Wait, isn't your bridal shower today? Ashley answered almost immediately, No, that's next weekend. Did she say it was today? I didn't know how to respond. My fingers hovered over the screen, numb, shock-wired with confusion, then gave way to something heavier, darker betrayal. I tried to rationalize it, clinging to any thread that might unravel this differently. Maybe she'd gotten the dates wrong. Maybe there was some explanation, something innocent. But the facts sat still and stubborn in front of me. Her location, Ashley's text, and the absence of any message from Lionel. It all pointed to something I didn't want to see. I sat motionless for a long time, the ticking of the wall clock suddenly louder than anything on the TV. I debated calling her, confronting her outright, but something in me needed more than words. I needed to see it with my own eyes. The drive to the beach resort felt endless. My thoughts raced ahead of every turn, every red light. Was this a what-I mistake or the surface of something deeper? Had she been lying for weeks, months? When I finally pulled into a parking spot far from the lobby entrance, my hands were clammy against the steering wheel. I opened the location app again. She was still there, room 237. Inside the lobby, I played the part of a forgetful husband. With casual charm, Sorry, my wife said she's into 137. I left my charger in the room, but I don't want to wake her. The receptionist barely glanced up. Second floor, left wing. I thanked her, each step up the stairs pulling me further from the man I was that morning. When I reached the hallway, I found myself staring at the door to 237, my hand trembling slightly as I raised it. I knocked once, nothing, then again louder. The door opened slowly, and the world shifted. It wasn't Lionel who answered. A man stood there, bare chest, tousled hair, blinking like he wasn't sure what reality he'd just stepped into. Behind him, there she was, my wife, sitting at the edge of the bed, her face pale and paralyzed. Time stalled. For a moment, none of us spoke. The air was thick with something too raw for words. She jumped to her feet, rushing toward me, her lips moving without sound. She tried to explain, but nothing coherent came out. I took a step back. Her fingers reached for my arm, but I pulled away like she burned. "You said it was just the girls," I said, and my voice sounded foreign to my own ears. "It was supposed to be," she whispered, her guilt like a bruise across her expression. "Was this your first time?" I asked. Though part of me already knew the answer, she didn't reply, and that silence was the loudest thing in the room. I turned and walked away. She didn't follow. The drive back was a blur of headlights and hollow noise. I couldn't remember the road, the turns, even the feel of the steering wheel. Just that dull, sinking pressure in my chest, the weight of betrayal where trust used to live. She came home the next afternoon, her overnight bag in hand, her face blotchy, eyes rimmed with red. She tried to speak. I wasn't ready to hear her. For days, the house became a hollow shell. We moved around each other like strangers, barely speaking, each in separate rooms. I took the couch. She stayed in the bedroom. I heard her crying through the walls. I didn't cry. I couldn't. Something inside me had locked shut. Eventually, the words came. She confessed. It wasn't the first time, not even the second. She'd met him months ago. Said she didn't know why she did it, that something inside her had gone quiet, that she'd been chasing a feeling she couldn't name. I didn't yell, didn't scream. I just listened. Then I went upstairs, packed a bag, and left. Because sometimes love doesn't end in fury or chaos. Sometimes it ends in quiet, heavy disappointment, and the sound of a front door clicking shut behind you for the last time.